What's going on, guys? Um, and don't mind the empty shelves in the background. I just got some new shelves installed in my home office, so I've still got to get all my books, some of my books put up there. Anyways, um, we've all got on our way up. We've all got some person. Sometimes it's multiple people that we look at and maybe we're jealous of, and that might be too strong a word. Maybe you envy that person, or you know look up, not maybe not look up to that person, but you see someone getting something, doing something that you think you're smarter than them, you're better than them, and again, not in an arrogant way, but you're like, that person's not that smart, or that person's not that good. How are they achieving what they're achieving? Right? We've all been there many times, and personally, I've been doing something that kind of turns the tables on it, on that whole situation. And I've been doing this for years, and I don't know how I came up with it, where I got it from, or if it was just something I just most likely I probably figured it out just from self-preservation, just from being stomped down so many times, and being behind so many times, and so many people getting ahead of me over the last 15 years, where I had to fight and scrape all along the way to achieve anything. I've always felt like that, and I don't think that's unique. Probably a lot of people feel like that. So what most people do when someone's ahead of them, and especially in that case where, because sometimes people are ahead and they're doing really good, and you go, wow, that's the smartest person I've ever known, or that person just got it all together. They started with money and they got family connections, whatever it might be. There's those people, but I'm talking about the people that start getting ahead, that you go, wait a second, how the hell are they doing it, right? So what most people do, they'll look at that person and go, oh, that person's an idiot. That person's not that talented. That person just got lucky. That person, whatever it might be. And they insult that person to make themselves feel better, right? And sometimes it's to other people, sometimes it's just to yourself. But here's what I find, that doesn't do any good. When you take that approach, that person's still ahead of you and you're still where you are. But if you take the approach where you say, you got to step back and you got to look at it objectively. You got to say, why is that person achieving what they're achieving? Whether it's in business, whether it's in sports, whether it's in karate, whether it's in school, whether it's in relationships, whatever it might be, you got to take a step back and objectively say, what does that person have going for them? What is that person doing differently than me or than other people? What are they doing differently? Why is it that they're getting ahead? Maybe you don't know the answer, but chances are, if it's someone you probably have a good idea of that answer. And what you do, so that answer might be that person has more confidence, or they present themselves with more confidence, or that person might just go for something. They might not have all those personal reservations that a lot of us have, where you might hesitate doing something. They might just go for it. They might work harder. They might train harder. They might study more. Whatever that might be, what you do is this. You figure out what it is they're doing. And then you take that skill. So if you say, well, that person's training a lot more. Maybe it's in your martial arts class. That person's training a lot more. Or that person's working harder. That person just goes for it. You take that one skill and you start applying it in your situation. And that sounds simplistic, but most people don't take that approach. So you take that skill and you add it to your repertoire, your skill set, and you start using it. And then what happens is, in most cases, you'll start moving ahead. And a lot of times, because sometimes those people in front of you aren't working diligently. They're not grinding it out. Sometimes those people, are one hit wonders, or they get ahead and then they slow down. Where you and I might be grinders. Like we do it every day because we don't have all those advantages that everyone else has. So we got to just grind it out. We got to grind it out every day. And so all of a sudden you start applying that skill, and you might out of nowhere skip by that person. And that's what you need to do in that situation.